Are we ready?
Everybody ready? Ready? Ready.
Wonderful. Thank you for letting me go. First, I appreciate that very much. Again, my name is David Bowman. I am with Bluecrim. I'm the marketing manager, and I'm here to talk about PowerPoint, why it's awful, and how you can make it better. So, without further ado, PowerPoint. PowerPoint's used by people everywhere. Why is PowerPoint so popular? What is the point of PowerPoint? Why am I standing here reading to a room full of literate people? Does this remind you of just about every other horrible presentation you sat through? Don't I know what I'm talking about? I'm literally just reading. Why am I even here? I could have just put up the slides on a 20-second timer and stayed home. Seriously. It's my daughter Ella. My daughter Ella is 4 years old. She just turned 4, and she can read, which makes her qualified to give about 95% of the PowerPoint presentations you've ever sat through, because that's typically about what it is, reading. And it's awful, horrible, and boring. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the way PowerPoint should be done. There's a better way. This is a great quote from Seth Godin. If you are interested in where marketing and technology overlap, he's a great guy to read. He very much gets where technology is headed from a marketing standpoint. Here's a great quote from him. PowerPoint can be the most powerful tool on your computer, but it's not. Why not? Why not? Part of it's because this is how most people use PowerPoint. It's a crutch. You use it to cover your ass so that you make sure that you talk about everything you're supposed to talk about. And you can keep track, and yeah, you know, a month from now when they say, well, we didn't discuss that, you can pull up slides. We talked about that. They use it because they don't know what they're talking about, or because they didn't take the time to research it. They don't really care. They just phoned it in because it's just the next Monday meeting, the next boring iteration of here's what we're going to talk about. So it becomes a crutch. Rather than think, I'll just read. I'll just put up some bullet points. Just talk about that. Meanwhile, that's how most people look using PowerPoint. It's horrible. You stand up there and you're just reading this boring. It's so god-awful. I can't even express it. The first 2 slides that I showed you are from Bluecrim's PowerPoint deck. That's the way we do it a lot of times. And it's god-awful. I'm new, and part of what I'm trying to do, and it's not that there's bad information there, there's something to be said in how you convey that information, how you communicate. That's a core focus of what I'm trying to accomplish, among a number of other things. I had a professor at UD that it was for a services marketing class, and he comes in, and the AV stuff didn't work. Everybody's sitting there waiting for him to get class started, and he hadn't introduced himself, hadn't said a word, fools around with the AV stuff, looks at it, fools around, looks at it, no eye contact with the audience, walks out, leaves the room, comes back with the AV guy, looks at it, looks at that. 40 minutes go by until he started class. When he finally got the PowerPoint to work, this great PowerPoint that we were waiting on was bullet points that for 16 weeks he read to me for several $1,000s. In that 40 minutes, he could have given me the deck. I could have went home and been done with the class. Horrible. The guy was a clown. It was terrible. And this is how the audience feels having to sit through it. It's unbearable. And just think about meetings where you're these PowerPoint meetings. People are on their laptop, they're on the internet. People aren't engaged. They're not asking questions. They're talking about whatever, their mind's wandering. They're not paying any attention. They don't care. Partly because you already printed out the slides and you handed them out 10 minutes before the meeting, so they already know what you're going to say. You've already read your whole presentation. You don't even serve any purpose other than you're just reading. It's horrible. The Lord said it was bad. It was bad. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It's what we've been taught. It's how you've always, you know, when you're in college, you put your PowerPoint slides together. Use Arial, font, and this, and this, and this. It's what you've been taught. So you can't really blame the users, but it's not right. Again, it's horrible. Save me, Jeebus! all what we're all sort of thinking a lot of times when you have to even put this PowerPoint together. It's like, oh God, I got to do this again. This is what PowerPoint should be. Compelling, engaging. Where do they come from? Where are they going? I'm interested. Something's happening. I'm wondering in my head. I'm asking questions. I'm engaged. That's what PowerPoint should be. It should be compelling. It should be creative. It should be more than just bullet points. So how do you fix it? First of all, just say no. Just say no, no, no. I'm not doing another PowerPoint. I love this because not only does it say a big giant no, but it's cigarettes, which sort of represent addiction. We're freaking addicted to bad PowerPoint. So bad. You try to go to your boss, boss, maybe I don't want to do PowerPoint. No, 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 no. You got to do PowerPoint and you got to use the template. But we're presenting internally, boss. Yeah, well, we got to use the template, branded. We spent a lot of time on that. So what?
And you know what's even worse? They're teaching our kids in school to do PowerPoint presentations this way. Yes.
Why? Because that's how Microsoft says how to do it. It's not the right way. It's just not the right way. So please, just say no. The whole tool is built around use our templates that have pre-built fonts, that have bulleted slides that are already laid out for you, etc. Sort of thoughtless, shove a bunch of information. If you don't believe me, go watch one of Bill Gates' presentations. They're abysmal. They're terrible. He's brilliant. He is a brilliant guy that has all kinds of visionary ideas, and his presentations are C plus B. They're not inspirational. Just say no. So just say no to reading the slides like I'm going to do right here. Templates, bullets, long rambling thoughts that you're just going to read. Standard boilerplate material about you. Clip art. Animation, which I put on the very first slide for a reason, because it's terrible. Nobody needs stuff flying in and zipping around and all that. Doesn't add to anything. It just makes you dizzy and confused. Don't print out slides for handouts. If you need to leave a lead behind, write a one-pager. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Here's why. Here's why this is important. One-page document. Great way. Don't print out the slides, because if you're just reading them, you're failing already. And if you hand them out ahead of time, people are just going to read them. And chances are you can explain it better in the context of a one-page Word document than you can in a bunch of little snapshots that don't have the commentary that you should be adding. Complicated charts and graphs. Charts and graphs are really good. Charts and graphs are great. Don't get me wrong there. But when you got the bar chart with the percentages and the line, and there's 6 other things zooming in and out, that is horrible. Very simple bar charts, pie charts, etc. that I can look at and say, yep, I get that. That's great. It should convey one thing on that slide. Get the message across, and move on. Just say no, K-N-O-W. I got to see Stephen Covey talk over here at UC a couple weeks ago. He's a little past his prime, but he still has a lot of good things to say. One of his principles is seek first to understand and then to be understood. So understand who you're talking to. Understand what people want to hear about. Then seek to communicate out to them. That's really important. Sometimes, instead of PowerPoint, maybe you should just take a notebook and some questions. Instead of telling them what you know, find out what they want to know. Know enough about the subject, you can just have a conversation like good old-fashioned old days. There's a lot more power in talking with someone.